Rico Love in the building.
Turn the lights on.
What's good, my brother? How are you?
I'm blessed, man. I can never complain.
Is it cool to have a favorite writer?
I think so. I have favorite writers.
I mean, I've interviewed you before, but I can't, deny and I can't go around it. Every time I have to address the fact that all of my favorite songs, including some of yours, you've written them.
That means a lot, bro. That means a lot. I work really hard, and I believe in. I'm from the era of effort, which is my theme for the entire 2018. It's just let's get back to the era of effort. I'm from an era where you worked extremely hard to perfect things, and you were meticulous about the detail. So when I hear people appreciate that, that means a lot because that's what I do it for. It's not even about money for me. A lot of people, may not believe that, but I really. I know this might sound vain, but the admiration of my peers and of people who love music, that means a lot to me because I know how I felt about, my favorite writers and artists and executives. So to have that reciprocated, that's the best.
I mean, it's just so incredible. It's almost like all of my favorite songs start with "Turn the Lights On." It's crazy. But how do you get to be so consistent with writing timeless music like that? Like, I mean, what do you tap into? What is the mind of Rico Love? I
think I have an amazing taste in music. It's like a person who has amazing taste in wine or in cuisine, on cars. I know what looks good. I know what sounds good. I know what feels good. So when I'm creating something, I can recognize it in the things that I create if it makes me feel like Neo is one of my favorite songwriters. So when I write records or when I hear a Neo record, I know how I feel. So when I write one, I can say to myself, that makes me feel like how I felt when I heard So Sick, for the first time,
I mean, a song like, again, one of my favorites, like There Goes My Baby, like, that's an experience for you, is it not? Like, is it like you looking at somebody and like, or is it an imagination, something you're imagining? Is it reality, imagination, or combination?
What I like to do as a writer is I imagine how people feel. And I understand that people cannot. The gift is really being able to say the things that people don't know how to say.
Yes.
And the secret to writing a great song is to say the most obvious thing in a way that's not so obvious. Because you want people to be like, yeah, you want people to call their girlfriend, or you want a girl to call their boyfriend, or a boy to call his boyfriend, or a girl to call her girlfriend, whatever they prefer, and be able to say, listen to this song, I dedicated this to you.
Right, this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, because I don't know how to say it as eloquent as this song puts it. So when I hear it, I want you to just hear it because that's what makes me think of you, and I think that's the gift.
So when you write a song, how much control do you have over who gets to perform that song? Does it go in a pool?
I get all of the control.
Really?
Yeah, I decide who. I don't shop records. See, a lot of times people write songs and they send them out to different labels.
That's what I thought.
They'll write a song tonight and they send it to 15 and 20 different labels. My former manager, who was like one of the most incredible managers ever, his name is Danny Dominguez, what he taught me was keep yourself classic. Don't overdo it. Don't sing your music to everybody. Just do records. So it's records that I've done that nobody has heard yet. And then when I get in the studio with somebody who I think fits the record, I'll play it for them.
Right, specifically
for
them.
But I don't even let people leave with the record. Like somebody, I want to vibe to this. Nah.
No, yeah.
Either you want to cut it or you don't, because that's what keeps your music exclusive. If it's not going to be, you're not going to be able to go to an A&R's office and they're going to be like, yo, check out this new song I got from Rico. Because A&R's do that. They whore out your music. So what they do is they'll get in another session with another writer or producer, and they'll be like, man, I was just with Rico Love, and he played me this. Let me know what y'all think of this. And it's like, bro, it's not your place to audition my music for none of these guys. Right. So what I do is I keep myself authentic and exclusive, and I write a bunch of music. I write songs every day, and I collect them, and when I'm in sessions with people, somebody might say, I want something that feels a little bit like this, and I'll think, hold on, I wrote this song a couple months ago that may fit that. Let's go through the folders. But I really prefer writing things from scratch, right on the spot. And I think that's when you get the purest and the most genuine situations. Yeah, absolutely.
Who are some of the artists that you really connect very well with, where when you write these songs, they like deliver?
I'm not trying to oversell it, right? But my artist Texas. Before I would say Usher. Hands down, before I would say...
You did say Usher the last time we interviewed.
Usher, when I write songs, is like... First of all, he's one of my best friends. Second of all, I'm the biggest Usher fan in the world. I mean, I know every single Usher song. I know the songs that didn't do well, the songs that did do well. I know the entire Usher album, the first album. I know the Just Call Me the Mac video, choreography. Like I'm a huge fan of Usher, and it's cool to know that your best friend is like a person you look up to, right? So, oh god. So, so basically, what I like to do is when I hear artists like Usher, or when I hear Texas and then write a record for them, is incredible because they can translate the emotion exactly how I wanted it to be translated.
Right.
And that's the key. When people are able to do that, man, that's amazing.
Let's talk about Texas. To me, because the fact you could write, because the fact that you're an artist, because the fact that you have an ear for music and all these different talents surrounded to music, I just
sent another request.
It'll seem like as though you can take somebody from like nothing, which I've kind of seen you do already, but I don't want to bring it up. But it seems like you could take somebody from nothing and make them into something.
I think that somebody
you have all the tools.
Yeah, I think that somebody has to actually have the gift, right? And I think that an artist like Texas has the gift. Without question, without doubt, without compromise, she's one of the most talented singers I've ever heard in my life. And for me to say I took her from nothing to something, I don't think that's fair to her gift.
Right.
But what I will say is I saw something in her that people didn't see.
Right.
That early on people didn't see. They heard the voice, but I think that we live in a generation of where talent is not enough. And that's why I want to encourage a lot of people who have an incredible talent, but they just feel like they don't have the other gimmicky stuff. Don't be discouraged, because sooner or later, when you're that gifted, somebody will see it and tap into it. Because record companies don't want to do work anymore. They just want something that's ready-made. And if they
attach themselves to it.
Exactly. People don't understand what an A&R really is. A&R is artist and repertoire. That means that I take the artist, I create the vibe, I create the energy, I create the look, I partner them with this person, I put it together, and then we create a record. Nowadays, there's no real A&R work. It's like the artist was already popping. They had 6 records popping in the streets. The SoundCloud is booming, so the label gave them some money.
Right.
As
That's what it's become.
As opposed to, I remember a day when you had a dream of going into L.A. Reid's office and just singing.
Right.
Or just rapping.
Right.
I remember when people would get signed off strictly rapping. Like just, yo, spit something. And he'd be so nice. He'd be like, sign him.
Right.
I remember when I was a kid and I was trying to sign I was doing all the runs. I remember meeting with DNY from Rough Riders.
Yeah.
And they took me on every block in Harlem, and I was battling everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sin and Drag On. I was battling everybody. And that's what almost got me signed with them, was me going and
putting in the work.
Now it's more about, what do you got going on? I don't believe in that. And what I'm building with Division 1, my label, and what I'm building with Texas is reminiscent of what TDE is doing with hip hop. And I love what they did with SZA as well.
Yeah.
But I want to build an R&B record company that has that type of power and that oomph and that energy as a TDE. And I think Texas is like the face. You know,
Right.
She represents everything that I believe in. And when I hear her sing, which I really encourage everybody, if you're on Instagram, follow her at _IMTXS. You know, Texas is just one of the most incredible artists I've ever worked with. Her album Everything Is Bigger is out right now on all platforms. We debuted at #2 on iTunes.
Wow.
Like, it was incredible. If it wasn't for Kodak dropping on the same day as us, we'd have been #1. Shout out to Kodak, Get Home Soon. But it's a blessing to be able to work with artists that you believe in, and somebody that you think is incredible.
How did you find Texas?
Instagram, bro. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Can you believe a girl tagged me on her Instagram page, and I thought it was I'm like, what is this? I thought it was Beyonce or somebody singing, and it was because she had the camera pointing to the ground. So I was like, what is this? And I was about to click off, and I said, hold on, this is not Beyonce, it's somebody. And I clicked and I saw a page. So what I did was I DM'd her, and I said, look, because she's gorgeous. So I was like, look, I'm not trying to holler at you.
Right.
I know a lot of guys be in your DMs. I'm really genuinely believe in who you are as an artist. And I really believe, people keep interrupting my live and calling my phone, so it cuts me off. So I got to re-request you on the live. I'm re-requesting. All right. So long story short, I heard her, I called her, I reached out, and she was like, I'm a huge fan. I respect what you do. This was on a Friday. That Monday, I called her and said, can you get on a plane at 4 o'clock today? She's like, yep. She jumped on a flight, and we cut 4 records. That was like 2 years ago.
Wow.
And then she trusted me through the developmental process, and she understood that you just can't put out a record. You just can't sign somebody. You have to understand the vision, and you have to understand that we have to create this. And if you really take somebody serious, you got to develop it. You got to develop it, you got to work it, and you got to cultivate it. And
so
that's
do
what
you
I did.
still believe in like record labels, and do you still believe in like that whole process? Obviously you do.
No, man, I believe that record labels should function that way, but
right.
majors don't function like that anymore. No.
But Division I does.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's my dream, is to cultivate and develop artists who really mean something. It's going to matter to the culture in the long run.
Is that attributed to why they don't last?
Yes, absolutely. And they do a lot of drugs and they die.
Right.
No, seriously. I know that sounds harsh, but
yeah,
these kids are doing a lot of drugs, bro. And nobody's there. The OGs ain't telling them, yo, bro, you need to slow down. You need to stop, because everybody want to be so hip and so cool and fit in, and they want to be, relevant. So they stand next to these idiots and they let them kill themselves, and they're not big brother. They're not putting their arm around them and saying, bro, you need to slow down. You're gonna die.
Right.
You need to slow down. You'll get locked up. You need to slow down. They're gonna shoot up your bus, and they go, But instead, everybody just want, the big homies ain't the big homies no more.
Right.
They like, I just want to be cool. I just want to feature from young boys so I can get my look, as opposed to being like, bro, you gonna die.
Right.
And that's serious. I'm not afraid to say it. And these guys is making. There's some talented kids out here.
Yeah.
But what they represent is like, I don't know if it's enough.
Facts. You seem to be doing a lot to kind of, I don't want to say the word save, but you seem like you're doing a lot to really change things from the way you've seen it sway. So not only are you doing that with Division I, but on top of that, you're doing that with your conference.
Yeah.
Can we talk about your conference?
The We Love Music Conference. Follow me on Instagram right now, because I got the link in my bio for the We Love Music Conference. This will be the 3rd annual here in the States, and we were invited to do the We Love Music Conference in South Africa, June 13th and 14th. So we'll be having the We Love Music Conference. This will be our first one in Africa, hopefully, prayerfully, the first of many. And
congratulations
what we do,
on that.
Thank you so much. And what we do is, and I want people to know this, Africa got some money. You know what I mean? And I don't, and I'm not exactly, and I'm not trying to say that to say like, oh, they cut a check. No, I'm trying to say we got to start looking towards Africa to do business and do work and develop, because
things,
my man Pato Ranking is one of the biggest artists out there. He's from Nigeria, and he's like one of my good friends, but he's just been exposing me to so much and showing me a lot that's going on out there, and to have them invite me and accept what I'm doing, I think it's incredible, and I think it's something that we need to start focusing our energy towards, especially as African Americans. We got to look over and say, you know what, we got to get out to Africa and start fooling with our people
on a real level.
Yeah, so the We Love Music Conference this year is going to be stacked, bro. I got Scarface going to be there. I got Mace. Scarface going to be there speaking. The theme is the era of effort. I got Mace. I got Ted Lucas, I got Ball Greasy, I got Big Crit, Byron Trice, one of the OGs. He comes every year. Danger, Marcella, Rob Marks, Brian Michael Cox. And there's an opportunity for, ATLA. It's these choreographers out of Atlanta. It's going to be our first year having choreographers and stage directors. They put together stage shows for the biggest artists in the world. We got them speaking. But we don't do panels. We don't sit around and have this. We do lectures. It's real like a classroom setting. Imagine 1,000, 2,000 people in a room, and you get to actually learn true skills and true ways to compete in this business on a high level.
That's good, because those things need to change. So I really like the work that you're doing. Is this? Would you attribute a lot of this to maturity as well?
Man, you know what? Absolutely. I think the action part of it is maturity, but I just think that this has always been my dream to impact people, and I've always wanted to do that. When I was 2 years old, playing in the floor, my mother said God spoke to her and told her that I was going to touch the lives of many children. So I think when God says children to people, I don't think he necessarily means in the age. I just think that his children is what he represents. So I've always had that in me. I've always been a person who just feel like being nice is cool and being a cool person is cool, but I also like to see people do well. I put on a lot of people. Like there's a lot of people around me who, or not even around me anymore, but if we can be perfectly honest, they have to look at their situation and say, if Rico wouldn't have did that for me, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
There's a lot of people who can say that. So, and to me, that's a reward in itself. They don't even they could deny it every day. As long as I know and they know, it makes me feel good to know that.
I feel you on that. But why is that so important to us?
Because we care. We actually care about people. Like I said, when you're comfortable in who you are, you don't have to, you can give. You know, and you don't receive unless you give. You know, if you got too much and there's no room for anything to get in, what if some of the stuff you get go bad?
Yeah,
you kind of got to get rid of that stuff while it's still good and while it's still fresh, because it'll go to waste if you just hold on to everything.
Absolutely.
So why don't we just give, and then that way we can make more room for ourselves, and then we can receive. Not saying we give because we got too much. Give, then we'll open up space, and then we'll be able to receive more. That's the secret, bro.
No, I love everything you're saying, because it's just totally in line with how I believe too as well. And
always, you always been that way
cycle
too. For years, I see you. It's always been love. You know, our friendship had nothing to do with play my record. Can I get on the radio? It was always like, you know, your artist would perform somewhere. You be like, your artist gonna be down here. All right, cool. I'm gonna pull up.
Yeah, that's
check
so
him out.
cool.
Oh, this gonna be. I'm doing this. Pull up. I don't pull up. We be at the premieres. We always end up like we end up like 5 premieres next to each other.
Yes.
Like, yeah, go to the movie premieres. You know, it's love.
It just seems that, you know, even the Obama rally.
Yeah, we was at the Obama
we
joint.
was there too.
Yeah,
but
that was your first time meeting Obama?
Second.
That was my first time meeting Obama.
I mean, it's just incredible, man. I really love the vibes. You drop so many gems, man. I appreciate you every time you come up here. It's all
always
love.
Always love.
Continue with your great works. Real quick before we go, you have an event coming up.
Yes.
Tell us again.
The We Love Music Conference is going to be in Baltimore, Maryland, July 14th and 15th. But also, We Love Music Africa will be in Soweto, South Africa, June 13th and 14th. And I want y'all to be in the building. If you can make it to Africa, I would love to see you there. We're going to welcome you with open arms. If you can make it to Baltimore, go to my Instagram at I am Rico Love. Click that link in the bio. You can register right now. It's a 2-day event, and I only charge $175. I want y'all to understand what I'm saying to you. It's a 2-day event. I'm charging $175 for both days. I'm not out here trying to make a profit off y'all. I want y'all to come and fellowship and interact with other like-minded individuals who want to be great and who care about the culture. So come out and rock with us.
All right, Rico Love in the building, man. It's 103.5 The Beat, Famous Friday. We ain't yelling and carrying on, but it's all love. This is exclusive. Just me and Rico up in here.